Welcome to Rising Tides Live 2026. It's the first show in the new year. I'm your host, Mike Bisceglia, alongside Elizabeth Doss. We're filling in today for Shawn Walchef, who's actually in Orlando right now, doing some amazing things with Toast. Shawn will be back on Friday when we have pitched the Tide. But for today, there's still room available. Jump on in. We're going to be talking about our goals, new goals for 2026. We've had a couple of weeks off without our shows on Wednesday and Fridays, just the way the holidays kind of found themselves this year with Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Day. But really happy to be back. And Elizabeth, it's great to see you. And how are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's great to see you too. Uh, I did the thing. I did the thing that we always do when it's a new year. I accidentally wrote 2025. I think I was labeling a file or something, and I was like, oh no, bloop, 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 got to change it. So
yeah, it's inevitable. I think it's almost like a pride of honor. Like if it happens, you're in the workflow, but eventually it will switch over. But yeah, no, it's great to see you. It's great to be here. Just thinking of goals for 2026, and when Shawn said he was out and I was gonna, I wanted to fill in, and I'm very torn on the topic in a lot of ways because I think that if you're not always thinking in this mindset, that it can hinder you. But at the same time, I really believe that having that reset is such a good thing. And I'll kick it off with this. For me personally, thinking about 2026, I didn't want to put like 10 things on a piece of paper and say, these are my big goals and put all this pressure on myself. But I do know there's a bunch of things I want to get better at. And I think using 2026 as a restart and a reset to do that was really important for me, because it's so valuable to have that. But at the same time, I want to make sure, and I think one of them for me is to not come out with full steam. It's 2026. Let's get it. Everything's great. And then mid-February hits and you kind of lose all of that momentum. So kind of for me, Elizabeth, just to start is to take a beat, be okay with it's going to take a couple of moments and not putting so much pressure on myself because it is the new year.
exactly. Because we can overwhelm ourselves from the get-go. I think on that, and it was something I was thinking about when we were going to be talking about this topic. Is that sometimes we can make unreasonable requests of ourselves in these moments,
Sure.
where and so I love the idea of the reset, number one. But I was thinking about this because my name is Elizabeth Doss, and I am a social media consultant, and I also create animated GIFs for brands and businesses. But one thing I love to do is to take these longer form pieces of content and create short form reels or carousels that kind of hone in on your thought leadership, all that type of stuff. So that's what I do for my clients. But so I follow a lot of, these social media content creators, et cetera. And so social media itself is a burr in itself, especially when you're trying to do all the things yourself. And yet I think people sometimes get mistaken in thinking that they can set goals by analytics. Let me explain what I mean on that. And this is not just for social media. If you can take the bones of what I'm saying and put it in the context of other things. But this idea, there are metrics that you cannot set as a goal because you cannot control that metric. And so I can't say that I want to get 3 million views on a piece of content because I don't know, I can't set that metric because that may not happen. In fact, that won't probably most likely will not happen. Right. But what are the metrics that I can set as a goal? So I can post certain amount of times a week. I can say I'm going to respond to 20 posts on LinkedIn with comments over those of the week. So those are metric goals that I can set for myself that will start to lean towards maybe the goal that I'm looking for. But what are those metrics that you can set for yourself that are attainable? So while I can't say that I'm going to lose 10 pounds in January, and we're almost halfway through, so this is not going to happen. But what I can say is I'm going to get up and move every day.
Right.
I can say I'm going to make, even if it's just a little, even if it's just me standing editing video, then I'm gonna stand for I bought a standing desk just for that, or you could stand at your kitchen counter,
Right.
whatever you got to do. But what are some goals that are metrics that I can do because I can control them rather than obsessing with the ones that I can't? Anyway, so those
I
things I was thinking.
I love that. I think that's a great mindset to have, and I'm going to steal some of that. I think that's very well said. With that, let's bring up some of the members of the community. We got Jordan and Eric joining us. So we'll reset the topic here just for anybody that's new that's listening in right now. We still have room available, obviously, as you can see. Talking about our goals, new goals for 2026. So Jordan Silverman, we'll throw it to you. Your name, what you're working on, and maybe some of your favorite bobbleheads that are behind you, because that collection is incredible. But how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Happy to be here. Been a while, so good to see everyone. My name is Jordan. I am a product manager at Spot On. Prior to joining Spot On, I was the CEO and founder of Starfish AI Financial Analysis. I'm now here at Spot On building Profit Assist, which is an evolved version of Starfish, trying to figure out how do we use restaurants' data and AI to make them more profitable. In terms of bobbleheads, I live in Florida now, but I am a New Yorker at heart. So Yankees, Giants, Nets, all the good stuff. And I'm looking forward to a good 2026 here.
Awesome. For you, Jordan, looking at new goals, is there anything in particular you've set for yourself? Is there anything you're thinking, or what's your mindset as we are now in the new year?
I try to always make sure I have resolutions for each year that are somewhat like achievable. I am old enough at this point to know that like I'm going to get ripped as a New Year's resolution is never going to happen. That's going to drop off pretty quickly. So this year, my resolutions are number one, my wife is pregnant. We have girl number 2 on the way. So resolution number 1 is like healthy child. You know what I mean? Like top priority, healthy child. Number 2 is be the best dad and husband I can be. We live a pretty good life now with a 3-year-old girl and like kind of in cruise control most of the time. And I know like in the best way, shit's just going to hit the fan, you know? And I need to make sure that I am remaining calm, being level-headed, remembering this is a phase, this is a phase, this is a phase. I know it gets better this time around. First time you're like, will this ever end? And then my third one from a business standpoint is actually impact restaurants' bottom line. I think there's a lot of AI out there. There's a lot of chat with your data out there. And I really believe, and this is why why we joined Spot On and why we merged, like we have a real opportunity to make a difference. So we want to save restaurants significant money in terms of lowering their costs and increasing their margins. So those are my 3 main resolutions for this year.
Well, first off, congrats. Very cool. I've 2 now, and yes, the second one does add a bit of chaos, but all in the best and loving way. But thank you for sharing, Jordan. Eric Farrell, Eric, good to see you. Some goals here for 2026, and like the guitar behind you, like the setup.
Thanks. I rearranged my office like October-ish, I think, and I have this great big wall behind me. I haven't figured out what to do with it, and it really skews the space. Like I can go really far back. You don't realize how far away I am from that wall. So the guitar is the start, but that's nothing good. That's just an old beater that I got from a friend for free. Actually, I bought him lunch, but I needed something that my kids could play on, and if they killed it, I wouldn't care. So there we go. And my 7-month-old son loves it. Every time my wife comes into my office, she's like, here, hold him for a minute. He will spin himself around hard to get to that thing. So
that's crazy that your son's 7 months, because it feels like, I mean, I don't have to tell you, but like a blink of an eye when in our thread, and anybody that wants to join on the LinkedIn, Instagram threads, but just I can't believe that's been 7 months. That's crazy.
Yeah. Jordan, I'm on kid 4. I have 3 girls and a boy. The chaos never goes away. It just changes flavor. it's changing constantly. I've got 10, 8, almost 4, and 7 months. And so yesterday, within the same hour, I had to deal with a baby blowout and an emotional preteen at the same time. It's nuts. Anyway, goals for this year. Man, I got a lot. So the last 6 months or so, life hit our family really hard. We had some really inexplicable medical issues come up. We had ER visits and hospital stays, and my wife's vision issues. And so I was driving her to doctor's appointments, and it was like up and down and up and down. And I had no consistency available for work at all. And I just very unprofessionally fell off the map. And I'm still beating myself up for that. Goal number 1, try hard to stop feeling bad about that and just accept that, like you said, stuff hits the fan and you've got to deal with it. So then goal number 2 is relaunch everything that I've been doing and other new ventures as though it's all brand new, not picking up where I left off. I'm just starting over. I'm just clean slating this. I have to. And so that's making me introspective and optimistic and looking at things with new eyes. Like, how can I narrow my focus? I think I have to stop overthinking things. I have to narrow down more of what I'm doing and who I do it for and how I can help them, because I've been too broad. A coaching friend of mine said recently, somebody else's quote, it's not mine, I don't remember who it was, but he said, go weird, not wide, and your weirdos will find you. I was like, man, that's brilliant. So yeah, new stuff coming in 26. 25 was a kick in the teeth. I'm done with that. So I'm going to narrow down. I'm going to stop overthinking, and I'm going to be consistent with LinkedIn, consistent with making videos for my other venture, because I haven't been, because I don't want to do video content, but I have to get over that, because I realized how many more people there are out there that I got to help. I got things to do, and you don't put an extrovert under a rock. We like to talk too much. So yeah, I'm hitting 26 hard.
Yeah, I like that with the consistency, and I think it's obviously extremely important to have that mindset, and also what you said to start about moving on past things. That's something that it's actually a goal for myself in 2026 is to not dwell and to move forward, because what ends up happening is, and this is, I've noticed this and recognized this, is then too much time is spent in the mind dwelling on the past when something good could be used in the future, which is actually something I have found that I do. And this is a goal of mine for 2026, kind of connects back to what you're saying, Eric, but like, I will doom scroll on Twitter. And if I find myself doom scrolling, I realize, 1, delete the app. And then it's just this particular app. But then 2, instead of that, like 7 minutes I spent lost in Twitter land, what was that? What could I have done with that 7 minutes? And I'm not saying, I'm going to, solve world peace here or whatever it might be, but like, what could I have done with that 7 minutes that could have been productive for me, productive for my family, even if it's as simple as, cleaning the dishes, like all of these simple tasks. I want to recognize when I fall into that trap of, this is not a good place for me. Stop, count how much time that was, and then use that and recognize that there's so much better I could do with my time, as opposed to just getting lost in an algorithm with this particular app that's trying to trigger me.
I mean, true. And I'm not going to disagree. I also am a habitual doom scroller. But I will say, if you find yourself like doing that, switch your mindset into that you're doing research. And because even the random stuff that comes up, there's still something. I go back to look at the bones of this thing. Why was it presented to me? Is there a conversation that I can have about this? Is there a structure that's within this piece of content that I could repurpose for the things that I'm working on? So like taking it in to just and just shifting it a little bit. And I totally agree. If it takes over, then you probably should deal with it, but also cut yourself a break, on the sense that Because I know, Mike, you have your own podcast. You guys were talking about it a little bit about like
Yeah.
the basketball side. So there's a portion of consuming that content that's in and around your subject matter that actually it does fuel some of your conversations, for later stuff. And so just paying attention to it, but also recording it in the sense of maybe you send it to yourself and add your notes of why watching that particular thing impacted you or ideas for how you could repurpose it later. So anyway, that's just turn your doom scrolling into research.
I like that. No, I think recognizing why you're doing something is super crucial and critical in the understanding of why it's here. And then reframing your brain for that is a super cool idea, Elizabeth. I'm going to take that with me. I love that. So I'll just throw kind of topics out here for the group as we continue here. But for 2026, in particular, like how much do you feel of like when 2025 ends and then the clock hits zero, like in your mindset, is there something that hits where you feel like an obligation where you have to create these goals? And if you do, and if so, like how do you come up with the ideas and just seeing how when the clock turns to 2026 and then like that mind shift, if it kind of happens organically for you?
I think recency bias is such a strong thing. Like if I think back to like this time in 2025, like I couldn't tell you what the goals were, right? Like somehow all of my goals are related to like, where am I in life in this moment in this time period? So I don't do a good job of like throughout the year documenting my wins and losses and documenting like what do I want to achieve in the next 3-6 months. So I like the reset, not because it's like, oh, new year, everything changes. It's just an opportunity to like take a few days off, really think about like where you are and where you want to be.
Yeah, that's well said. Do you have any tips, Jordan, or thinking of anything like of when time continues to like keep on that? Because I think what you said is like, I think it's first of all, in backtrack, it's really interesting what you said when you think of like 2025. Do you remember them? And sometimes you don't, but in a weird way, it's like it's there with you. I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing here and thinking out loud if there's like some things we can do to help keep us aligned with that or keep us on track when inevitably life's hard, right? Like things will go things will go askew in a sense.
I think one of the things I'm trying to do is like, and this is why I love this conversation, is like tell more people what I'm trying to achieve this year, because that holds me accountable, right? Like I'm one of those people of like, if I told you I'm going to do something, I better fucking do it. And if I don't, it's gonna be like an oh shit moment. So like what I'm trying to do is like tell people, what do I want to achieve? What do I want to do? Like what are my goals? And then less for them to hold me accountable and more so I can hold myself accountable. Because if I'm putting something out there in the public, I'm gonna make sure not to embarrass myself and actually do it.
Cool. Good stuff, Jordan. Dean LeBay. Dean, great to see you. We've met in our meetings. So I guess I officially won't say happy 2026 because it'll be the second time. But it's good to see you, Dean.
Hey, good to see y'all. Good to see Jordan and Eric. That's for sure. Jordan, where have you been? My God, we've missed you.
I miss you too, Dean. I know. I said I've been MIA, but it's good to be back. It's good to see you, Dean.
I hear you. 2026, first of all, growing up, being born in 1960, we all thought the year 2000 was, Y2K. Y'all don't remember, maybe some of you remember that, maybe some of you don't, but everybody thought the world was going to come to an end. So goals for the next year. Basically, my goals for the next year, and as simple as this sounds, is basically just to walk every day. I've been at the hospital today getting my infusions. I get some again tomorrow. And I was trying to connect up with my computer, and Jordan, I've got to call you sometime because I'm technologically so handicapped. I can't figure some of this stuff out. I plugged in my headphones a whole bit, and of course that muff come off, and I was like, well, hell, that's not going to work. And my hearing aid was, the charge was not as good as it should be, so I had to let it charge up. So I was watching you on YouTube, and on YouTube it's got a different picture than it does on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn's a good a good media to podcast or broadcast from. I don't know, just pretty much my goal is next year to try to improve my health as much as I can. Walk a little bit more than I did this last year. Stay on top of the restaurant industry. Restaurant industry is changing dramatically, which Jordan already knows that. I think there's going to be some consolidation. There was good news out of Savory Fund this morning about the guy from Velvet Taco is taking over as CEO, and the Smiths are going to be in that in not on the sidelines. They're going to be a little different part of the company. So I think that's exciting. I don't know. I see a surge in the independents this next year. Some of the smaller brands, and then as they build out to 5 locations and building from there. Here in New Orleans, I'm going to try to, and this is one of my goals, is to try to tell more about the story about how the food and the culture here in New Orleans, how it got here, and it got here over on slave. They got here on the slave trade, and a lot of people don't know the stories, and I'm just learning them myself. So it's exciting for me because I get to learn something. I get to share it with y'all, let you know about it, and where some of the top chefs in the world are. And I don't know. I'm looking for an exciting time in 2026. We're doing great things, as you already know, Mike. And so it's nothing but up, nothing but I think we're off the tarmac now. I think we're in the air and fixing to take off. So I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you, Dean. Yeah, I will say, pull back the curtain a little when we have our Cali BBQ meetings. I do enjoy, Dean, when you add to the conversation, and usually towards the end of the meeting, kind of a send off, and it's always gives me a smile, and they are enjoyable. So goal for 2026 is just to listen to more Dean. I like it.
Well, listen, just so you know, part of my history, I grew up in a town called Hooks, and which Hooks is in northeast Texas up by Texarkana, but I went to school with a guy named Billy Sims. So, he was a pretty good football player, won the Heisman Trophy in '78, played for Detroit. But anyway, went to Oklahoma. I was always around those coaches that gave those kind of speeches.
Yeah.
And then when I moved to Pine Tree, again, we had a basketball coach that was just awesome. I mean, he's the guy. He was what was the guy from Indiana? Bobby
Knight.
He was a Bobby Knight impersonator. I mean, he threw stuff around. He didn't have any problem picking a kid up off the ground. I mean, listen, the stuff he did back then, you couldn't do now.
No.
And it was funny. Once he won a state championship, they basically said, "Man, you do whatever you want to. I mean, you're here for life." I mean, So anyway, no, I've always been around people that influence and get you fired up. And I like it. It keeps me fired up. It's like say today, like Jonathan, just knowing Jonathan's here. And if I had known this beforehand that you were going to be here, Jonathan, I would have made sure I got home earlier so I could get on. You old rascal, you.
Thank you, Dean. So kind of just looking at a full scope of 2026. If we could fast forward a year from right now and it's 2027 and you look back at 2026, what would you say one of those goals that you really want to accomplish is? And maybe it's a goal you didn't even say yet. But if you were to fast forward a year, what does that goal growth look like? Kind of putting everybody on the spot with the question here. But I'll ask for a volunteer if anybody thinks off the top of their head, a year from now, what can they say about 2026?
Well, I'll tell you one thing I want to try to do this year. I've been to the NRA show the last 3 years. I would like to go to the show and actually cover the whole thing. It's a 4-day show, and I've tried. It's just there's so much you just can't get to everything.
Yeah.
But that's one of the goals I'm looking forward to. Try to see everybody at the show, and another goal is just basically I'd love to be off this infusion, but I'm not. A lot of stuff I can't control. But I don't know, positive. Increase my relationship with my higher power where I'm at right now. I've had an extremely good rebuilding of that since I moved to New Orleans, and basically stay focused on that and how it plays a part in my life, and try to encourage others. And as they say, rising tide lifts all ships. Help those that are, reach down and try to pull somebody up the way that y'all pulled me up. Listen, Elizabeth was there from the get-go. I mean, when I came in, there wasn't no other way but up. I mean, hell, I was on the bottom. So no, I'm looking forward to 2026. Life's good, no complaints.
Thank you, Dean. I'll put the question out there. Anybody else, if they want to answer it, if not, all good too. But like looking back, like a year from now, thinking back on 2026, is there a goal or idea you most want to achieve?
Well, I'll put it this way. So I was trying to look up what this could be. So I have friends that they get their word for the year, type thing, and then they just kind of they pray about it, they focus on it, they those things, and so but they always seem to pick one that rhymes. And which is I think helpful to get that thing in your memory. So they had Thrive in 2025. And what I love about that and looking back over their year, it was in December. It's some friends who are musicians, and they landed a record deal with a major label and distribution and all the stuff. Anyway, it was a really, and so I remember because I had made an animated GIF for them for their word of Thrive in 2025. And so I just kept sending it back to them that this was your word this whole time. And so that idea of setting before your eyes, even physically, but having that thing that all of the different things that you're doing can come into harmony with. And so it doesn't have to rhyme. But just that idea of what is, because I don't know if you've ever done, what are they called? The vision board things where you cut out things and pictures and do all this stuff. But one of the things that in some of because I've done it with friends and things, is what is the feeling that you want to have more than the stuff or the travel or the location. What do you want to feel like at the other end of this? And so for myself, I've been looking at dreams I've had, things that I would love to accomplish, and thinking through if I got those things, what is the feeling that I would have when I achieve that? And then start to kind of reverse engineer, am I doing anything that leads towards that right now? And so that's why I love, and I'll drop the link on LinkedIn, but I love Richard's system that he has set up that you can get from his website of start, stop, and continue, and kind of doing that kind of audit over the things that you're working on and saying, what are some things that I need to stop doing, which I heard kind of in what Eric was sharing. What are some things I need to start doing? And then with Dean, with the walking, what are some things that I need to continue doing, and really kind of looking through that and auditing those things. And so anyway, that was just, I know that's not very specific. Specific for me, I guess, on that side of things is I have a overarching dream of teaching people about creativity and their relationship with God in their creativity, and that he was introduced to us as creator first. And so anytime we create something, whether it's Jordan with the analytics, Dean with a story, Eric with his writing, Mike with his podcast, there's a part of creativity where we are actually closer with our creator in that. So, but I have taught workshops and other stuff, but I have had to set it aside to do real work, money paying work. But I still try to infuse it in the things that I create and do. But I would love to start working towards how do I foster that community and continue those types of conversations. So that would be a goal of mine, is to really get that moving properly and all the things. And like I have time for that. Anyway, I'll hand it back to you, Mike.
No, that's good. I mean, obviously, creating videos or going on YouTube. I mean, I don't have to tell you, all the magic that's available with this technology. But if you can find those little moments and those times where you can do it, Elizabeth, of course, I'd encourage it. That sounds awesome. And as you were talking, I actually went into ChatGPT and I asked it for some 2026 rhymes just to do it. So I'll give you a few of them. It gave me way too many, and I'm definitely not going to go through all these, but just a few. 2026, time to fix, mix, and make it stick. 2026, new tricks, big wins, no quit. 26, in the mix. 2026, let's click with what sticks. And there are 50 more. Something like I guess, just thinking about it in real time, which is really fun having these conversations because there's things I don't even think about. And then we have these conversations and it happens. But as AI is such a big part of all of our lives, of course, now, I think for me, I've gotten what I need to use it for. I've gotten pretty good at it. I think getting out of my comfort zone and finding different ways to utilize it because there's so much technology out there that I don't think I've even scratched the surface. So making a goal for myself is to get out of my comfort zone on how I use AI. Because what I need it for, I've gotten a good rhythm with it. But I think I need to learn more, or else I'll kind of get left behind in a lot, not fully left behind, but things move fast. So I think I'm making a goal for myself here in real time based on using ChatGPT the last minute that I want to find different ways with different forms of AI that I can use to help make my life better for whatever that might be, work, etc. I think I'm gonna do a new goal in real time.
Very cool. And so while you were giving those, it made me think of one. My best friend, she loves to do CrossFit and stuff like that. But one of the gyms that she went to, painted across the wall, said "Kill the quit." And I thought that, like, because you just said that, so kill the quit in 2026 or something like. I know it's not super rhymey, but it's very close to like. So that thing in you that wants to give up, if you can press past it, even just a little bit, usually you can keep going. And now I'm preaching to myself. I'll hand it back to you, Mike.
No worries. Thank you everybody for joining today. New goals for 2026. Just a reminder for anybody listening and for people in the audience, we have our Pitch the Tide. That will be on Friday. We are basically booked up now for January. Shout out to Dean, who has helped to coordinate and book so many great people coming on Pitch the Tide. But if you are interested, hit us up on email, podcast@calibbq.media. You can find me, Mike, at calibbq.media, and Dean, I assume is the same, Dean, at calibbq.media. We're always looking for new people to pitch the tide. So if you're interested, it's every Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, which has just been great. This Friday, Runbin Dong, founder of Scale Social, he'll be on. So make sure if you want to be a part of that. Always best to get in a couple minutes early when the show goes live, usually, like I said, around 1 o'clock. But get in early, get your seat. The room fills up fast. We have capacity of, I believe, 10. So you want to make sure that you do that. But Pitch the Tide on Friday. And of course, if you have a Rising Tides Live idea, if you want to host, if there's something you want to talk about, always open to doing it. Of course, here on Wednesdays at 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. Let's go for our tip, takeaway, homework assignment. New goals 2026. Eric, we'll throw it your way. Tip, takeaway, homework assignment.
First takeaway, Elizabeth, I better see a school.com community going up soon. Like, you need to make this thing. You can do it.
School is so expensive.
No, it's not. It's only $9. It's $9 a month.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, they changed it. They lowered the bar. $9 a month. You can do this. And we can talk monetizing strategy.
Yeah, it used to be $100 a month, by the way, everybody.
Well, yeah, they have that too, but I'm in the same boat. I got to make one. I'm halfway there. Anyway, different story. Homework assignment for myself. Excuses are hollow. and everything that I've ever made an excuse about and all the things that I ever feared never really came true. So shut up and do the thing. Like, that's pretty much it. Happy 2026, y'all.
Shut up and do the thing. 2026. I like it. Jordan Silverman, tip, takeaway, homework assignment.
Bill Gates has this great quote that we overestimate what we can do in 1 year and we underestimate what we can do in 10 years. And I think I do a good job of thinking about what am I going to accomplish this year, and not a good enough job of how do I want to accomplish, how does what I want to accomplish this year build towards what I'm actually going towards and growing towards, right? My homework assignment is simple. Tell more people about what my goals are for the year so I can hold myself accountable. And then my second is just join this more often. I miss everyone. It's good to be back.
Yeah, it's great to have you, Jordan. I like that a lot. Tell people the goals. I think that's great. I think that's great. That's another one I'm stealing. Elizabeth Doss, tip, takeaway, homework assignment.
Yeah. So one thing I was kind of working on debating this morning was showing rather than not showing or telling, because showing your work, when you in school, we would show like our numbers, we would show the thing. But in my line of work, sometimes it's a little bit iffy. Like, should I share the content I'm creating for other clients on my own account? And so I did what you do, Mike. I asked ChatGPT and I said, how do I do this without it being, taking over whatever. And it said, just make sure that you're not trying to say that the thought leadership is your own. Like the thing that you're sharing, make sure you're saying this is coming from this direction. And I had the opportunity to shape it or work alongside of it. And so for all of you, that are on this call, that you work with clients, and sometimes it feels weird reposting your content that you created onto your own stuff. But one, you can go to ChatGPT and say, how do I say this? And it will give you some really great ideas for how to frame it. But make sure you show your work. I want to see more, Mike, of your podcast on LinkedIn. I want to see more, of the work that you're doing with clients and telling those stories. Because even if they don't tell them well, you can tell them and reshare that. So I think my homework assignment is to not be afraid to show and tell things. So anyway, back to you.
Yeah, no, that's great, Elizabeth. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, and I think I'll send it over to Dean after, but the takeaway from me is to do more of that. Especially I find that I want to share everybody else all the time, which is amazing. It's something that's really important I do, but I need to pull back the curtain a little bit on the things I'm doing. Because kind of forget about it in a weird way when you get so in the weeds of all your work, and then you kind of take a step back and think about that. So that's a good takeaway for me. And then also just another takeaway is hearing everybody speak. I love hearing everybody's goals. I think it's really interesting. I think sometimes find myself in my own head too much. So I think hearing everybody else's perspective is really important. To realize you're not alone, whatever it is you might be going through, whatever it is you're doing, whatever your goals might be. There's a bigger world out there. So that's awesome to hear. It's a big takeaway from me. But we'll close it out with Dean LeBay. Tip, takeaway, homework assignment.
Takeaway, good show. I picked up a lot from what Jordan said about being accountable, and of course, Elizabeth and show me, don't tell me thing. It reminds me of that old Chinese proverb or whatever it is. You give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. You teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. And that's kind of what I'm going into this year about with the storytelling that I've been doing. I was talking with Marvin yesterday at my favorite po' boy shop here in New Orleans, Guy's Po' Boy over on Magazine, and we were talking about giving up. People that give up. He said, it's crazy. He said, if you want to learn a foreign language, he said the best way to do that is go to wherever country it is, and you'll make 200 mistakes a day just so you can learn how to speak the language. And I thought about that. I said, it's the same thing with everything that we do, the way we prospect for new customers, the way we interact with our relationships business-wise. You're going to make mistakes. If you didn't make mistakes, then there'd be a problem. So when you make a mistake, pick your ass back up, fall down, pick yourself back up, and keep striving forward. Um, I love this community because y'all were there, and y'all, when I couldn't carry myself, y'all carried me, and I mean that sincerely. So going into 20 tip takeaway, just don't give up. No matter how bad you think things are, they can always be worse. And if you ever need to call somebody, I'll be happy to give you my phone number. Call me. We'll talk about it. But just don't give up. Just keep pushing. Keep getting out there and keep telling your story. Because just like Shawn says, if you don't tell your story, nobody else is going to tell it. I mean, they're not going to tell it for you. So show up, tell your story, and like I said, fantastic show today. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, you're welcome, Dean. Well said. I made a mistake yesterday. I got mad at myself for a second, and then I thought to myself, no way I would have ever thought that, but now I know that. Next time this happens, I've learned my lesson. And it was something. So thank you for saying that, Dean. Great show, everybody. Appreciate everybody's participation here. Elizabeth, Jordan, Eric, Dean, thank you for showing up. A reminder again on Friday, join us for Pitch the Tide. And if you want to be a host on Rising Tides Live on Wednesdays, if you want to pitch the tide on Fridays, hit us up, Mike at CaliBBQ.media. Happy to do it. But we will see everybody else on Friday. Happy New Year. Happy 2026. Set your goals, write them down, and have a wonderful rest of the week. And for this episode, I'll say it. Have a wonderful 2026. We'll talk to all you guys later. Take care.